It's time for Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network. Tiger Talk is brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis. Banking one story at a time. The Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute. Comprehensive cutting-edge care, giving you every reason to choose Hayes Med. United Rentals, your partner for equipment rental, sales, and service. VTI, your John Deere dealer, with locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. VTI, our family in partnership with your family. The Taco Shop. Order by phone or use the Taco Shop app. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. The Taco Shop. You've never had it so good. Royal Roofing. Give your home the royal treatment with Royal Roofing. And Eagle, our community connected. Now, Tiger Talk with the voice of the Tigers, Gerard Wellbrock.
And a good morning on this Monday. Welcome to another edition of Tiger Talk. I am voice of the Tigers, Gerard Wellbrock. We'll be joined by head football coach Chris Brown. Josh Shaw is our player guest today. We'll get to know the big Tiger offensive lineman a little bit better a little bit later on in the program. Fort Hays State coming off a thrilling homecoming win Saturday night in front of a large crowd, over 8,200 at Lewis Field. Tigers win it 31-23. They kept everybody engaged all night long. Came down to basically the final play of the game, but Fort Hays State holds on to preserve the victories and move to 3-2 now. 2-1 in conference play, and now getting ready for another road trip on Saturday. They'll travel to Joplin to take on Missouri Western. So just a fun night at Lewis Field. We'll recap all the action and preview Missouri Southern game, which is coming up on Saturday. As we tell you every show, you can participate by chiming in with a question. All you have to do is go to the Fort Hays State Athletics website, fhsuathletics.com. Click on the fans tab. You get the drop down. You'll see Tiger Talk Ask the Coach. And if we use your question, a chance to win a Mix 103.3 t-shirt. Couple of questions emailed in over the weekend. We'll get to those a little bit later on in the program. But just a fun weekend of Fort Hays State football, and we'll bring in head coach Chris Brown. And congratulations on the victory. That was a fun one. Obviously, maybe a little bit closer than you would have liked, but bottom line, it's hard to win a college football game, especially in this MIAA, where there are really no bad teams. And you guys show a lot of moxie, especially in the second half, to come back and get a win.
Yeah, it is. It's hard to win in this conference, and you always take a win in this conference as well. And proud of our kids for fighting back. But first off, I want to thank the fans. I mean, that was a tremendous atmosphere. Our band did an amazing job. The cheerleading squad did an amazing job. The Debs. I mean, victory was all over the place. But man, our fans. I mean, that's awesome to have that many people show up and help us win that ball game as well, because they're a big part of it. But it was fun. It was loud. It was exciting. I mean, we're talking about 8,200 people. I don't know how long it's been since it's been packed like that, but it was cool atmosphere.
I go back. This is going to date me. I was in high school, but they played Nebraska Kearney for a homecoming game, and I think they estimated, they didn't count tickets like they do now, about 8,500, and it was jam packed on that day. But I think it's interesting with the new dynamics with the turf and the track no longer there. The bleachers along the north end zone. That whole area has kind of become just a fun little area. I mean, it was wall-to-wall people from those bleachers in the end zone seats all the way back to the video board. Kids having a good time running around. There wasn't a lot of room to run around, and then obviously the stands packed, and they made an impact. It got loud in there on Saturday night.
It got really loud. I mean, our band did a good job. I had to talk with Coach Lillipoff.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Hey, can you play when they're on offense? And we kind of talked about that, and he goes, absolutely, we can. And they did a wonderful job of making it loud, and hard on them, offensively. But no, those kids were having fun. Even watching the kids back behind, sometimes during timeouts, I'll watch those kids playing back there, just tossing balls around, running around, having a good time as well. But great atmosphere. It's a great family atmosphere as well. And, I'm so proud of our Tiger fans for being there for us, and so thankful for them as well.
Yeah, a lot of fun. And when we talk about that rule changed a few years ago in college football. It used to be the band could play up until a certain amount on the play clock he had to stop. that's changed. You can play all the way through. We heard it in Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago. I mean, their band played when you had the ball the entire time. I know Central Oklahoma has done that. Other schools have done that, and we noticed it right away. The band played a lot longer, but it does change things a little bit.
It does, especially for the offense. It's more of everything's signaled in anyway, so you kind of get the signals, but it's more the snap counts of are we going on the clap, are we going on one, are we going on two, or are we just trying to see what they're doing, defensively? And that's hard for an offense to do it. Then you got to get your communication, with your offensive linemen of whether it's a run play, whether it's a pass play, and then receivers too, seeing those things too. So it does make it difficult. So I'm glad our guys did that.
Talk about halftime. You guys gave up the Hail Mary on the final play of the first half. Missouri Western takes the lead into the halftime locker room. You just feel the air taken out of Lewis Field. How did you address your team, and what changed in the second half? Because it looked like a different team after halftime.
I mean, it's just we have to go make that play. I mean, we had, we teach our guys. We have 3 guys back. We got everybody else kind of has a man on them. And we got to get pressure on those receivers. We didn't touch a soul, right? I mean, those guys that are up front of the line, they got to get their hands on the receivers, slow the route down, and then we have a guy spine as well, and the spine needs to go a little bit quicker than what he did. And then when the ball's in the air, we got to go knock it down, and we didn't do that. So, I just went in, just let them know I wasn't real happy about the situation and how we're playing right now. I mean, when you look at it, we had 2 turnovers in the first half, and that hurt us as well, and then that big play there. So we had to change some things. It's just good talk and seeing how they want to step up as men and be warriors and go out and finish this battle. And, our kids stepped up to the challenge.
And it has to make you proud as a coach to see your team take that challenge, because not everyone will, and sometimes they'll falter and you don't find a way to win the game. But to kind of take it to heart and then play the way they did, knowing it's going to be a battle for the next 30 minutes, but to find a way to get that win.
Yeah, and I mean, I probably really didn't have to say anything because I went right into the locker room, before our coaches came down from the press box and all that stuff, and they were already, talking about things, getting on each other, holding each other accountable, making sure we're doing things the right way. But as a coach, sometimes you just can't hold back, and so I had to throw my 2 cents in there as well. But the kids really handled the situation themselves in the locker room and got themselves ready, refocused, re-locked in, and went out and played a great second half.
Obviously, the running game stands out. You go for 203 yards, and I went back and double-checked it. By my count, you're now 43-3 since you've been the Tiger head coach when you run for 200 or more yards. And 2 of those 3 losses came in your very first season, and you've won like 27 in a row now. That's obviously key. You try to establish the run, but what changed in that second half, and especially the fourth quarter? I think you had like 135 of those 200 in that final quarter. What changed to allow you to run the ball so effectively on Saturday?
I mean, our coaches did a really good job of going in at halftime, showing them exactly what they were doing offensively. It's nice having the iPads and all those things now where you can show kids, right away, but there's not much time in there, but you get that halftime, you get about 10 minutes with your guys to kind of go through the film and get on the board and draw some things up. And then our backs really started to trust our offensive linemen and where their holes were going to be. They anticipated where it was going to happen, and you saw Josh Clark and Curtis Douglas do those things. And when they did those things, positive yards happened. They ran hard. I mean, it was cool to see Curtis break that one long run, which we finally had a long run, break for us for a touchdown. But it was the trust. It was just getting that thing going. And once you establish that run game, so many different things open up.
It's interesting. You've talked about it a lot. When the running game falters, it's easy to blame the offensive line. And sometimes it may be, the running back didn't hit the right hole or didn't let the play develop. You could kind of see that they were just a little patient, just giving it that maybe half second more, and then bam, there it was. And then getting uphill, attacking the defense, finding that gap, and as you said, when they did that, great things happened.
Yeah, I mean, offensive linemen get blamed for everything, right? With the run game's not going, it's the offensive line's fault. When the quarterback's not being able to throw the ball, it's the offensive lineman's fault. Those guys have played pretty well so far. I mean, they've done a good job of protecting our quarterbacks. I mean, especially last game. I don't know if Caleb got sacked.
Did not get sacked. First time all year.
In the games before that, I mean, he had plenty of time to throw. It's just our receivers weren't running their routes hard. And, all that stuff started kind of coming together this week. I mean, our receivers were running their routes hard. When he scrambled, they did start moving around, doing the things he asked them to do. Our offensive line did a great job of protecting him and getting the run game going as well. But, a big part of it is just your backs. We have to run north and south and not east and west because you're not getting any yards, and we want to gain positive yards. We got to do well on the first down and second down so we can make third down manageable, and we're able to do that in the second half.
You mentioned receivers being open, and I think you had guys more open than we've seen all year. Ryan Allen had a typical Ryan Allen name. Obviously, the touchdown pass to Tariq Logan when he got by the defense, and a good job by Caleb to get him the ball for a touchdown. But it felt like your receivers were a little bit more open on Saturday night.
It is. I mean, sometimes as coaches, you got to find a way to get your kids motivated and playing harder and playing faster, and trying to become excellent football players or elite. We have some really good athletes, and it's what you do with those talents and gifts that God's given you, and to go display them on the field on Saturday. And sometimes you just got to push a few buttons here and there, and talk to them about certain situations and find a way to motivate these kids to play harder. And I really thought our receiving core, they blocked well, they ran their routes hard, and it just changes this whole dynamic of your offense.
Felt like that second half is more the team that you envisioned to see maybe from the get-go this year.
It is. We're starting to come around now. We need to build off of that. Everybody keeps saying from week 1 to week 2 you get better, and I really haven't seen a lot of improvement each week, but I did see it in that second half this week of, okay, there's the team that we're looking for and we're starting to find, and hopefully that gives us our identity, that second half does, and we can build off of that for these coming weeks.
Got to ask you about the defense. They give up the Hail Mary pass and, probably a little down, but they had a brilliant second half. And John Johnson, he's been good for a long time, but maybe not better than he's ever been than he was on Saturday night. Seemed like he was everywhere. It reminded me of a Fort Hays State game at Pittsburgh State way, way back in the day when I heard Chris Brown's name mentioned all night long. It kind of felt that way with John Johnson. He felt like about every tackle, but he had 16 and just kind of willed that defense to come up big in that second half.
He did, and a lot of that, goes, credit to our defensive line, taking on the double teams and keeping the offensive lineman off of him, and, rallying to the pass game as well. And, he caused a fumble too, which I wish we could have jumped on and got as well. But, he's getting better each week. He's really starting to become that leader, that you're looking for. He's getting more vocal on the sidelines, and, that's cool to see as he grows into this role as being a captain on our team. But, proud of the kid. He works hard, does everything we ask him to do, and he's really starting to get the hang of where he needs to be, what he needs to do, and he's playing more physical each and every week.
That's interesting. I think you have a lot of guys on this team have been leaders by example throughout their career. But it's a little bit different role now as they're seniors, and sometimes you have to lead by more than example. You have to maybe be vocal, and it's not always easy for guys. But you could feel, you could sense, and you could see times that John was maybe in someone's face, encouraging them after maybe making a mistake, a little bit out of his comfort zone. But you said you're right; he seems to be accepting that challenge and that role a little bit more.
Yeah, it is. We've kind of lost that, in our world today a little bit of holding people accountable and taking ownership and making sure guys are doing things right, and that's my job to get them comfortable doing those things, because someday these kids are going to own businesses and maybe be teaching or doing whatever they're going to do in life. They're going to hold people accountable, or everything's going to fall apart. So you kind of got to force them into those situations sometimes and talk to them about those situations and doing it. And I said, you just got to do it. Once you do it the first time, it'll be a little uncomfortable. The second time, it'll be a little bit easier. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. So our kids are really coming around doing those things that we ask them to do.
It was a nice win on Saturday night. We'll talk more about the victory, and we'll obviously preview this Saturday as the Tigers head to Joplin to take on Missouri Southern. Always a tough place to play a much improved Lions team. If you miss any portion of today's show, you can always listen, or you just want to go back and hear something again, you can do that. There'll be the Defend the Fort podcast on Hays Post later today, and then the video replay of Tiger Talk that'll be posted tonight on Hays Post as well. Again, big thanks to Jordan, the video dude, making us look as good as he can make us look. He's got limited talent to work with, but he does a great job with the program. Again, we love to hear from you. You can chime in at any time. Go to FHSUathletics.com, click on fans, get the drop down, ask the coach, chance to win a t-shirt. A couple of questions submitted over the weekend. We'll get to those a little bit later on in the program. Tiger Talk brought to you by Golden Belt Bank. It's banking one story at a time. Golden Belt Bank of Hays and Ellis. Visit them at goldenbeltbank.com. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll get to our player guest. Offensive lineman Josh Shaw will join us next on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
We had a guy that came into the bank. His dream was to own a restaurant. He was turned down from multiple banks, and upon coming in here, having a prior knowledge of who he was, we reviewed his business plan, we talked to him, and we felt strongly that we wanted to join him in this adventure. Ever since we joined with him, he has been very, very successful. It's just really nice to be able to be a part of somebody's dreams. Golden Belt Bank, one story at a time.
Huebner back to pass, flips it near side, caught by Joshua Clark, makes a man miss at the 5, dives to the pylon, he's down to the 1, no, they say touchdown! Touchdown! He hit the pylon! Joshua Clark with a touchdown catch in a second straight game, and it's 6-0 Tigers.
Yeah, they got Fort Hays State on the board Saturday night. They go on to beat Missouri Western 31-23. Welcome back in to Tiger Talk. Hey, you can sync up our radio broadcast with the MIAA Network video feed. Listen to the game on the TuneIn app. If you don't have the TuneIn app, download it to your phone or device, and then if whichever is ahead, if it's the audio stream on the TuneIn app or it's the video feed, right at the opening kickoff, pause it, let the other catch up, and then you can sync it all up, and you can hear our radio call timed in and synced up with the video from the MIAA Network. Do that this Saturday when the Tigers take on Missouri Southern. Josh Shaw, our player guest today, Tiger offensive lineman, big number 67 out there on the field. Hey, congratulations. Great win on Saturday night against Missouri Western, and Coach talked about a great atmosphere. What's it like running out there? The place is more than packed. That's got to be pretty exciting to play in an atmosphere like that on Saturday.
No, yeah, it's awesome, being able to go out there, play in front of that many fans, the crowd being that loud, just bringing the energy, help admitting that to us players. It's awesome. It's fun. Tiger fans always show out, but last Saturday was special. It
was a fun night and a fun win. We asked Coach about it. Obviously, the first half was a little disappointing the way it ended. Just talk about what happened at halftime, and then just how you guys came out and just kind of a little bit locked in and got the nice comeback win.
Yeah, coaches did a great job all night of scheming up plays offensively for us to be successful. I think just coming out in the second half, we knew we had to start establishing the run, and especially as an offensive line, we kind of took it upon us that we needed to get this run game going, because once we establish the run, everything opens up. The passes, the receivers can get open more. We get the defense thinking stop run first. It helps us out too. We stay out of third and long situations. So I think as offensive line, but everyone as a whole, we just kind of took out. We knew we weren't playing up to our potential, and we knew we had to come out and play better.
And I imagine as an offensive lineman, it's got to be incredibly gratifying when you look at the end of the day, over 200 yards rushing. You had a couple guys really emerge. I'm sure you guys take a lot of pride in that when you see that happen.
No, yeah, we definitely take a lot of pride in that. We want to be able to run the ball. As an offensive line, it's fun running the ball. Right when the defense knows it's coming, even though they can't stop it, So yeah, it's awesome being able to get the run game going. As I said earlier, being able to establish a run just helps the offense flow so much better.
Run block, pass blocking, which is more challenging? Which one do you like to do better?
I like run blocking more. Moving guys against their will, is awesome. I really enjoy that. Pass blocking, they get in all their different fronts, and they can run stunts and twist games, and you kind of feel like you're on your heels. But as a run game, I really feel like you can attack them. So I enjoy that more.
Yeah, it's funny. Coach mentioned in last segment that the offensive line unfortunately gets blamed for everything. If the running game's not there, it's the offensive line's fault. The quarterback getting sacked too much, it's the offensive line's fault. And maybe sometimes that is true, but it's a team effort, and there's a lot of things that go into it. I mean, are you in discussions with the running backs? If maybe it's not going as well, about hey, just give us a second and just kind of getting all in one on the same page?
Yeah, when we come to the sideline on the bench, I feel like we do a pretty good job of the whole offense coming together and being able to use iPads to kind of talk to each other, like, hey, this is what we see, this is what we need to do to be able to get this play to work. But I think we do with the running backs and even tight ends, we do a really good job talking, discussing what we need to do, blocking assignment wise to get plays working.
I thought one of the key plays Saturday was a scramble by Caleb Huebner on 3rd and 7. He just gets a first down. He ran about 45 yards to get it, and then Curtis broke the big one, the 50-some yarder to to give you a little cushion there in the final margin. What's it like having a quarterback like Caleb Heavner, knowing he's got a good arm, he's going to throw, but has that ability to scramble and keep the play alive? Your job as an offensive lineman, obviously not holding and protecting for the pass, but knowing he may run as well.
No, yeah, it's Caleb Heavner's a playmaker. When the ball's in his hand, anything can happen. So as O-line, just going through play, we're like, we got to block as long as we can, because he goes back there, he scrambles around. You've seen what he's done, like especially on that 3rd and 7. Scrambling out to the right, then cutting back. Making guys miss. It's awesome. He's a great playmaker. He really makes this offense go. And so as O-line, we know that if we give him time, he can make all the plays. And so we just really take that upon us.
Having a guy like that and a play like that was obviously big. And like we talk about the running game, it maybe isn't always the offensive line's fault. Same thing with sacks. But you gave up no sacks on Saturday. And even though not every sack this year's, I think you can blame the offensive line. There's other factors. But when you have a game like that and you look up at the end of the day and there's 0 on that sack column, how do you guys feel? It's got to make you feel great.
Yeah, it's going to make us feel good. We strive for that every game, but, it makes us feel good that we protected Caleb, for as much as he does our offense, keeping him upright, giving him time, and then us keeping him upright, keeping him in the pocket, don't have to scramble. It's good,
Visit with Josh Shaw. He's our player guest today, offensive lineman, big number 67 for Fort Hays State, coming off the 31-23 homecoming win over Missouri Western. Let's talk about the offensive line a little bit. You had 3 guys back. You all had some all-conference recognition, but a few guys who saw some time last year moving up into starting roles. Just talk about how you feel you guys have come together and improved throughout the year, and then maybe just what it takes to be a cohesive offensive line. We hear that a lot about just what the other guy is going to do and everything. How long does it take to establish that, and how do you feel you guys have come along since the beginning of the year?
Yeah, I feel like we've gotten better each week in cohesiveness, working together, playing through one set of eyes. That's big as an O-line, is being able to see things the same as all 5 people. So I think every game we get more comfortable, and we get more comfortable playing with each other. We feel things better, so that maybe we don't have to exactly talk everything out, but when we see certain things happen out there, we just automatically know that, this person's going to do this and that. But I think even those 2 new guys coming in, they've done a really good job coming in and filling the roles, and they're experienced guys too. They're not like they're brand new freshmen, but I think each week we've gotten better. We've been seeing things better through one set of eyes, and hopefully just keep improving.
Josh Shaw, our player guest today, Fort Hays State offensive lineman. Talk about your career a little bit. I mean, you got to play a lot early, and just have continued to get better each and every year. You're honored by the MIAA with some all-conference recognition last year. Just talk about your game coming in as a freshman and to where you are now, one of the veterans on this team. What areas do you feel you've improved on the most, and what did you have to improve on the most? Maybe what struck you when you got here is like, wow, this is this is going to be tough.
Yeah, coming in freshman year, being able to play was awesome. It was great to be able to do that, but I probably wasn't ready to play at the time, physically or mentally, just knowing all this stuff. But the coaches have done a great job preparing me each and every week, working on my techniques, getting in the strength room or in the weight room. That was really big. Coming in as a little bit underweight, 270-pound lineman, fresh out of high school. It was really good to get into the program here, the strength program, and getting stronger. I feel like each and every year the thing that just kind of that got me better was, the off-season program, getting bigger, stronger, faster, and then getting the mentality locked in. We keep working on the techniques, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, definitely freshman year coming in, it was a little like, wow, like these guys are a lot bigger than they were in high school. Like they're a lot more physical, faster. But each year, I've kind of taken it upon myself to get in better physical shape and mentally being able to kind of anticipate what's going to happen, so that way I can put myself in a good position.
And I would think as an offensive line, obviously you need size. Look at this conference. I mean, there's some big offensive lines. You got that fine line of putting on the weight, making it strength, and then keeping your agility, because you got to be mobile, you got to be able to move a little bit. Is that a big challenge to kind of bring all those worlds together, put on the extra weight, but still be effective in your athleticism?
Yeah, you don't want to put on bad weight, I guess. You want to put on good weight, but I think our strength coaches and our trainers and all the coaches, I guess, do a really good job of preparing us physically. getting our bodies ready for the season so that we can go out, be strong, fast, physical.
All right. I want to ask you about your journey to Fort Hays State. I always find it interesting, different, how players find their way here. When did you find out about Fort Hays State, and then what ultimately led you to become a Tiger?
Yeah, so actually I had an uncle that used to play football down here.
Okay.
I had an aunt, Carrie Ann Shaw. She played basketball, so
yeah.
I was a little familiar with that.
Sandy Creek High should have put that together.
But then, she married Jesse Trent, so we were a little familiar with that. But then about senior year, winter time, the old offensive, old quarterbacks coach, Coach Zoda. He kind of was the one who started to recruit me, and I came down here on an official visit, met with all the coaches, and, I fell in love with it immediately. The people, the culture that Coach Brown was trying to establish and reestablish, I guess. And so it was, coming down on the visit, meeting the people, is really what kind of led me down here.
You got a brother on the team too, don't you?
I do.
What's that like?
That's awesome. It reminds me of high school. We got 1 year together in high school, and so it's a lot of fun having him down here. I spent a lot of time with him growing up. Being on the farm, we were together every day during the summer working. During the school, we did the same sport. So it's fun having him back down here again.
All right, well, that's pretty cool, and it'll be fun to watch his career develop. All right, well, we're going to get to the Ask the Coach segment here in just a second. I want to ask, I know it's early in the week and you guys just getting into it, but Missouri Southern, you've made trips to Joplin before. They appear to be much better. They hung with Northwest a couple of weeks ago. I know it kind of got out of hand at Central Missouri, but they had 5 turnovers in that game. But just the challenges of going on the road in Missouri Southern on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, Missouri Southern's a solid team. They're coached well. So we just got to be, worry about us, worry about what we have to do. I think when we go out, when we play our game and we do the things we need to do, it doesn't matter who the opponent is, we'll be okay.
All right. Well, we're going to bring Coach Brown back up here. It's we like to end each player segment with Ask the Coach. Your chance to ask Coach Brown anything. Well, you can ask him anything, but, he does make you decide how much you run at the end of practice. So, there is always that caveat. But we've had some great questions. Josh, your chance. What's it that something just been, man, I wish I knew this answer. Here's your opportunity. Ask the coach for Coach Brown with Josh Shaw.
Okay, so with this past homecoming, the atmosphere being awesome, that's probably one of the best atmospheres I played in here. In Hays. I just want to know, during your playing days or even coaching days, what was one of the best atmospheres you've ever?
This probably was it, right? Even me playing at Pitt State. The stadium wasn't as big as it is now. So I think right now just that atmosphere was really good, and I think the second one would probably be the Ferris State playoff game, because that was a huge crowd as well in that game. I think those two probably go hand in hand, but this probably by far is the loudest that it's ever been since I've been here. And it's a real cool experience to have those fans come out and do that.
All right, Josh, great question. Great job as always. Appreciate you joining us here today. Congratulations on a great career. It's not over yet. Good luck in Joplin, and looking forward to the rest of your senior season. Hopefully some good things in store for the Tigers. We appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you.
There you go. Josh Shaw, offensive lineman for Fort Hays State, our player guest here on Tiger Talk. We will take a break. More to come. Chris Brown will join us when we return on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
At BTI, we pride ourselves on providing quality John Deere equipment and customer support. Since 1944, BTI has been serving farmers and commercial operators with mowers, tractors, and compact construction equipment at an affordable price. As a leader in the ag industry, BTI offers complete technology solutions so our farmers can help keep America running. Experience the BTI difference for yourself.
Call on BTI.
Our family in partnership with your family.
First and goal at the 5-yard line for Fort Hays State, trying to retake the lead. They're down 10-7 with 10:39 to go in the second. Hebner hands it off to Douglas, dances up the middle, breaks a tackle, dives. Did he get in? Yes! Touchdown! Fort Hays State, the first of a Fort Hays State Tiger, the first in his collegiate career for Curtis Douglas, the Kent State transfer. And Fort Hays State is back on top, 13-10.
Yeah, nice touchdown there. One of two on the day for Curtis Douglas. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. It's brought to you by United Rentals of Hayes, your partner for equipment rentals, sales, and service. Whether it's big or small, find it all at United Rentals. And, of course, a reminder to look your best on Tiger Game Day. Go to FHSUathletics.com and click on the shop, and that's where you'll download or get to the BSN store, the Tigers store from BSN Sports, all the latest Nike gear for 4-day state athletics. Hundreds of products and designs, and it's all customizable. Again, FHSUathletics.com. Click on shop, open up the Tiger team store, get your latest 4-day state official Nike gear from BSN Sports and 4-day state athletics. Tigers 31-23 homecoming winners over Missouri Western on Saturday. You got a field goal and you missed a long one from David, but you're a little bit better in getting touchdowns, and that was a big point of emphasis. Love the leg, love where David has progressed throughout his freshman year, but you want him to kick extra points more than field goals, and by and large, you did that on Saturday night.
Yeah, we did. And that's something we really worked on in practice that week. We always do ones versus ones and twos versus twos, and usually it's like a blitz period or it's a third down situation, where both times this week it was red zone. And so we really emphasized, scoring touchdowns or eliminating touchdowns as a defense and getting rid of the field goals. So I hope it helps us out. We're probably going to do it again this week just to emphasize it just a little bit more, the importance of it. But he's got a great leg. Dave's got a great leg, but I'd rather see those 6 points instead of those 3 points.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I thought another big factor, that opening drive of the third quarter, they just had all the momentum. They score on the Hail Mary. They get the ball. They were owning time of possession, which you knew. It was number one and number two in the conference in time of possession. You knew one of the teams wasn't going to have it as much in all likelihood. It was you guys. But getting that fourth down stop, they move it to your 30. You get a fourth down stop. You kind of swing. You take away the potential to score back-to-back possessions. You get the ball back. You get a field goal to get you to within 3. I thought that was a big turning point in the game. We always talk about the middle 8, final 4 minutes of the first half, first 4 of the second. You didn't win the final 4, the first 4, but you won that first 4 of the second half.
No, it was huge. That was a big stop for us, and being able to go down and get points. I think they had a 3rd and 2, and then it was 4th and 1, and our guys did a great job of getting that stop. On 4th down, they were pretty close to still getting it, but our guys bit down on their mouthpiece and went to work and did the things we asked them to do, and then going down and getting those points, helped as well. So we got to continue to doing those things. Getting stops, offense scoring, and then not turning the ball over offensively, getting some more turnovers defensively, because there were some opportunities in that game where the ball was on the ground that we didn't get, and those could have led to points for us.
You go up against a team like that, what they did as far as time of possession and moving the ball is what they've done all year. They've had a lot of close losses really the last 3 seasons. They've been in about every game they play. Does that change the mindset for you guys offensively, knowing, hey, we're not going to get as many possessions today? I'm sure it puts a little more premium on every possession, knowing I think even in the fourth quarter you get the ball maybe thinking, this might be it. We got to find a way to get a touchdown.
It is. They do a good job of really running the clock down and keeping that time of possession on their side as well. So you don't have very many opportunities, and they come in, they're very methodical with what they do. They get lined up, they see what they want to do, they check to the sideline and get the exact play that they want to run offensively. But you don't get many chances, and when you don't have very many chances, you got to take advantage of each one of those chances that you get.
You had 3 possessions, not counting the kneel down to end the game. In the fourth quarter, you had 3 total in the second and third quarters combined, and one of those started in the first quarter and carried over. So yeah, it was definitely a low possession game. I didn't get a chance to ask you. He just got off his segment, but Josh Shaw, great young man. Always fun. It's been really fun to visit with these guys and get to know them better. But you can see why that offensive line has had success when you have guys like him up there, veterans leading the group.
Oh, he is. He's just a tremendous young man. He played as a true freshman, which is really hard to do. I did as a safety, but that's a much different position to be playing than as a freshman than anybody else. Knowing the offense, understanding the blocking schemes, seeing blitzes, seeing twists. All that goes into being in the trenches. And, those guys don't come out. A lot of people, you rotate some receivers and, running backs and, tight ends rotate in and out, safeties rotate in and out, and, even defensive linemen you always see rotating out. But those 5 guys, they play the entire game. And I don't think people realize how much, work they put in, and then the grind that it is on their bodies, and the toughness that it takes to play 60, 70, 80 snaps, every single game. And it's always contact, right? It's always, one guy's hitting you, and you're driving your feet, and you're trying to push them, and it's hard to win every single play, but our guys do that, and he's a big reason why, we are what we are, and that's why we're tough, physical, aggressive, and our guys know what they're doing.
It feels like that O-line keeps getting better. You had some veterans back, and some, like we talked with Josh, some of the guys now starting had played in the past, but now obviously different roles, but it just feels like every week getting a little bit better, and maybe one of their better games on Saturday.
Yeah, it was, for sure, and, we thought last week was really good. This week was even much better, and as long as they keep improving like they are right now, I mean, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, because they're tough, they're physical, they're communicating very well. You could really see them this week getting on the double teams and really getting that movement, and then getting to the next level as well, and just picking up all the twists and all the blitzes that Mo West threw at them. They did a really good job of seeing those things, but that comes to watching film, right? They watch film with each other, they watch film with the running backs this week as well, or last week as well, and that just really improved our run game and our pass game.
Tiger Talk brought to you by BTI, your full-service John Deere dealer. Locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family, in partnership with your family. We've got questions to get to. We'll get to those a little bit later on. We'll preview Missouri Southern. That is up next for the Fort Hays State Tigers this Saturday afternoon in Joplin. We need to take another break. We'll do that right now. Back with more Tiger Talk after this break on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PWC from Eagle.
Looking for unique flavor at low prices? Look no further than Taco Shop in Hays. We have original, made-from-scratch Mexican food, sure to satisfy an empty stomach. Take a bite out of these delicious deals. Grab a beef or cheese enchilada, bite into a beef and bean burrito, or chow down on a Sancho. Save time with our free Taco Shop app. Have delicious fresh taste in just a few taps. Dine in, get it to go, or have it delivered. Taco Shop. You've never had it so good.
Come on down to the taco shop. You never had it. You never had it so good. To the taco shop.
Heber to throw, looking downfield. He's got a man open. It is going to be caught. Touchdown! Fort Hays State. Tariq Logan. And Fort Hays State is tied it with 12:25 to play.
Tiger Talk brought to you today by the Taco Shop. Order by phone or use the Taco Shop app. Dine and carry out a delivery just east of the Fort Hays State campus on A Street. The Taco Shop. You've never had it so good. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Welbrock, head football coach Chris Brown. Tigers coming off a big homecoming win on Saturday, 31-23 over Missouri Western to move to 3-2. Now 2-1 in MIAA play. Back on the road this Saturday in Joplin to take on Missouri Southern State. Nice touchdown catch there. We talked about it in the first segment. Felt like the receivers got a little bit open. Ryan Allen had a big day again. Ethan Hilleman always seems to make one really remarkable catch where he's really well defended. But you've gotten Tariq in the game a little bit. We've seen some end around the jet sweeps and different things. Good to see him catch a touchdown pass. The first in his career, either as a Tiger or when he was at UCO.
Yeah, I think he's finally starting to break out and get comfortable with what we're doing offensively. Kid has tremendous speed. He's fast, athletic, can make people miss, and that was a great route that he ran on that kid. Ran a little stutter route. Kid bit hard, and he just got vertical, and Caleb hit him. And those are the hard ones to catch. You're so wide open that you start thinking about it too much. Sometimes you drop him, but he locked it in, focused, and got his first touchdown.
Yeah, that ball just kind of hung in the air there, but he was able to haul it in. He also had another catch, TD catch from Joshua Clark, and obviously he ran the ball incredibly well. Finished with 70 rushing yards, a career high for him. But he is so versatile out of the backfield. He's got back-to-back games now with the receiving touchdown, almost the same identical play, except it was just a little further out this time. Having a guy like that, though, and he played receiver in junior college, so he's very familiar with the wide receiver position, but he looks comfortable now running the ball and receiving the ball, having a guy who can do both.
Probably the most proud of him thing I am of him is, his vertical game. Now he's really starting to run downhill vertical, not looking to bounce it, really seeing the holes and trusting where it's going to happen and develop, and running physical. I mean, there wasn't, I don't know if there was one time in this game where he got tackled by one guy. I mean, it took two or three guys. He was breaking tackles, running physical, getting downhill, and you could just see him starting to build that confidence, getting that energy, getting that juice, and just the confidence is the big thing, and trusting in himself that he can do those things, and now he sees he can do those things.
Well, and especially, I mean, he fumbled his first carry, and they didn't play a lot for the next couple quarters after that to bounce back from that. That can be tough. I mean, some guys may check out and they're done for the day and then move on to the next week. For him to stay engaged, and then when he got his opportunity later in the game, he was there to take it.
Yeah, it just didn't look like a clean handoff. You know, it kind of bounced before he got hit, and you know, but that is hard. You know, sometimes that gets in a kid's head, and they're kind of done for the game. And you've seen it multiple times. Another guy, he goes back in, fumbles again, goes back in, fumbles again. But you know, he took it upon himself. Not that those things happen. You could really tell that he was focusing on ball security, and you know, he ran hard. I'm proud of him and the way he ran, and now he just needs to build off of that and keep doing great things for us.
Caleb threw an interception in the game, and it led to their score right before halftime. He's thrown a few more this year than he has at any point. Has been able to pinpoint why that might be?
It happens. The more you play, and you know, you get on the field. I mean, you look at last year, he didn't really start playing until the UCO game, so you know, it might be a little bit forcing the ball sometimes, or it might be the guy running the wrong route, not being in the right spot as well. So you know, we'll get that cleaned up. I mean, Caleb's going to go to the drawing board, look at things, talk to the receivers, tell them what to do and what they need to be, and that's just who he is, because he wants to be perfect. And you know, he is a perfectionist, and he's not happy when he does those things.
And we talked about with Josh Shaw, that 7-yard run was, I mean, you talk about another key play. It led to that touchdown to put you up by 8, but just his ability to extend the play. It was a 7-yard gain on the stat sheet. It was about a 40-yard run, it felt like, to go all the way across the grain, come back and get that first down. Just, I mean, I thought Josh said, well, he's a great playmaker, and he showed that right there.
He is. You know, he's smart early in the game, you know, when things are kind of rolling, but when we need to make things happen and we need to get things rolling, he always finds a way to make those things happen. And I mean, that was a tough play. Like how he got out of some of those things, I have no clue. Knowing exactly where the first down was, you know, especially when you're running all over the field like he was, and still getting that first down, that's huge. But that's Caleb. I mean, he's a hard worker. He's a grinder. He knows the game very well, and when things need to happen, he's going to find a way to make things happen.
Well, he did there. Fort Hays State got that first down, and then the very next play, they busted one with Curtis Douglas. And we talk about the emergence of those two in the running game, and I know Donovan Hunt got the start and played a lot early on, but Curtis, Kent State transfer, big, strong guy, still just a sophomore, young guy, but it's good to see him really step up, because you could see that mix of speed and then size. He could be a force to be reckoned with if he can build off of this.
Oh, he's one of the strongest kids you'll see in the weight room too. I mean, he is very, very strong. Just he's lowers his pad level just a little bit, and he's learning that to do that now, and you're seeing it as he continues to play. But I mean, with the speed too, and the strength and the size, I mean, he can wear people down. Eventually, people will get tired of tackling a guy like that, kind of like TD. People get tired of tackling TD, and you know, he can be that same type of kid as well. And you know, Josh is starting to establish that too, where people are going to get tired of tackling him as well, just because as physical as he runs. But you know, we want guys that run north and south, and you know, Donovan does a little bit, but he was going a little bit too much east and west for us. So let's try these other two guys and see what they got, and you know, they proved himself on Saturday.
You mentioned TD, Travis Dixon, out for the year with the knee injury. Good to see him on the sideline, still talking to his running back mates and encouraging them. And I mean, he's a veteran. He's been through a lot, able to give them some pointers and help them along the way. Almost like another coach out there now.
It's awesome to see, you know, because some kids, you know, that happens to them. They just kind of fold. You never see him again, and you know, he's still there every day at practice. I'm talking to those guys, teaching them up, and you know, I'm proud of him. I wish we could have kept him, you know, the rest of the season, but things happen, and he's taking it the right way. He's found his new role, and his new role is to kind of be a coach for those guys, and a motivator, and getting them juiced up and seeing things better. So very proud of that kid for doing what he's doing right now.
It certainly worked. Over 200 yards rushing in the win on Saturday. Tiger Talk brought to you by Royal Roofing, the #1 local roofing company. Roofing, guttering, siding, and windows. Call today for a free estimate. Give your home the Royal treatment with Royal Roofing. We'll take a break. We'll get back and answer some of those questions you emailed in over the weekend. We'll do that next here on Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
First and 10, Tigers at the 41. 2:50 to go in the game now. Here's a handoff the middle, and breaking up the middle is Curtis Douglas. He's going to score off the right hash. Touchdown, Fort Hays State. Curtis Douglas, second touchdown of the night.
Yeah, the Griffins guessed wrong on that one. That was a gaping hole, and there was nobody back to help. And Douglas takes it the other way, 59 yards. That put the Tigers up by 8 after the extra point. They go on and win by 8. Welcome back to Tiger Talk, brought to you by the Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, offering the most comprehensive and advanced orthopedic care in western Kansas. Why travel hours when the best in the region is right here at Hayes Med? Let's get to some of the questions that you submitted. Again, go to FHSUathletics.com, click on fans. You'll get the drop down. You'll see Ask the Coach and a chance to win a T-shirt. We did have one come in here during the show, and it was, unfortunately, I think we know the answer, but asked about the status of offensive lineman Jacob Mattice. He went down a couple of games ago. I know his season's over.
Yeah, it is, and it's sad. I mean, the kid is really improving week in and week out and kind of making his mark, on our offensive line as well, and getting in the rotation a little bit too. So sad ending for him as well. I mean, the season, it is a season injury, but he's still at practice every day, still trying to learn, still trying to get better, doing his rehab, and he's going to have a little surgery and get things taken care of, and hopefully be back next year.
Yep, he's a young guy. Certainly has a good, bright future after the injury. Okay, now that's an interesting. In your opinion, the most difficult position to play in football? Safety, probably, huh?
No, I mean, really, honestly, people think I'm crazy, but the center is really tough to play because you're thinking about the snap, right? You're thinking about you got to call out, who the ID is, for the blocking schemes and all those things that are happening, whether it's a run down, a pass down, those type of things. Quarterback's really hard too because you got to see everything on run situations, make sure that the offensive line's ready, seeing coverages, seeing coverages roll and different things that are happening. Those are the two big ones have been. But the kicker, I mean, your one job, kicker and punters, you're supposed to punt the ball and change field position, and then as the kicker, you got to make the kick. I mean, that's what you're called to do. So those are probably the four. I mean, defensively, I mean, they're all pretty hard. And the safety has to make all these checks and reads and get everybody on the same page, and the same with the linebackers. But probably I really think the center position is probably the toughest because of everything that you have to do and have to know, about the defense that's coming at you and preparing your guys and getting them ready.
I wonder if it wasn't going to be someone on the offensive line. Appreciate that. Okay, and then the most difficult, in your opinion, the most difficult position to coach?
Definitely got to be the safeties. I mean, no, I'm kidding.
For those who don't know, Coach Brown coaches the safeties.
Yeah. Probably the same thing, Coach Bolden in the offensive line, because there's
who has birthday today, I believe, Coach Bolden. Happy birthday.
He said he's 20. They said he's 22.
22.
So
well,
I was like, well, if you're 22, we'd be playing you again
go
right
with
now.
That.
So, but no, happy birthday to him as well. But no, that's probably the position. I mean, just because you have to get those guys ready. You have to meet with them so much, and you got to teach them the twist game, the slant game, all the different situations that are happening, all the blitzes that are coming at them as well. And so that's probably the toughest position to coach.
You're touching on the kicking game. You got to be happy with, because that was a big question mark coming into this year, because you had to replace everybody. And Logan Russell has done punting, and then obviously what David has done as your place kicker. You got to be so happy with how those two have stepped up.
Yeah, as long as they just need to keep doing it. The miss with David, I mean, that was really far right. I mean, I hadn't seen him miss one like that in a while, but he's usually been spot on. But man, he can boot the ball, and he's got a strong leg on the kickoffs as well, kicking them out of the end zone and making it hard for those teams to get returns. But then Logan Russell, I mean, has really stepped in. he really won that job the day before the very, very first game, and not knowing how he would handle it, but he has handled it very, very well. Was a walk-on kid, and because he became our starting punter, has now earned himself a scholarship as well.
That's a great story. All right, one more question before we go to break. Are there any coaches outside of your own program who you consult with when you're looking for advice on tough issues? And if you don't mind sharing who some of those might be.
Coach Broyles, of course. He's always, he's my college coach at Pitt State, the head coach there. Talked to him quite a bit. And then Craig Shurik, that was at Washburn, who's now at North Alabama as the quarterback coach. Him and I consult quite a bit. And then, Rich Wright is another good friend of mine that we talk quite a bit.
At Central Missouri.
At Central Missouri, D.C. now. And then, it's those are kind of my guys that if I need to have questions or talk to. And then even Garen Higgins, him and I talk quite a bit from Emporia, just on different things that are happening. But when it's not, those are more seasoned guys, right? Like Rich Wright and those guys, but like Schurig and Broyles and those guys, like, hey, what would you do in a situation like this, or what do you think about, different things like this, or offensive plays, defensive plays, and things like that, and just different ways to motivate kids as well.
All right, some good stuff. Appreciate the questions and keep them coming in here on Tiger Talk. We need to take our final break. We'll preview Saturday afternoon's trip to Joplin and Missouri Southern when we return on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
Tired of equipment that's seen better days? Or maybe you have a project that requires a bigger machine than you own. This is Blake from United Rentals and Hayes, and we have you covered. Whether you're a contractor, a farmer, or working on your own project, we've got the machinery you need. Big or small, and everything in between, you can rent it for a day, a week, or a month. And if you're looking to own, we have a huge inventory of reliable used equipment for sale. Plus, we can service and repair the equipment you already own. Stop by United Rentals on South Vine and Hayes. We're your one-stop shop for rentals, used equipment sales, and repairs.
3 receivers left, 1 right. There's the snap. Donovan looking, being flushed, rolls to his left, throws to the back of the end zone. Incomplete! It's incomplete! Fort Hays State is held. They'll take over with 3 seconds to go and are going to win on homecoming.
Yeah, final play, second to last play of the game. Fort Hays State downed it on a knee on the very next to run out the clock and get the win. I think the cool swing there is here in the crowd. They were into it, made some noise, and made it difficult. Welcome back to Tiger Talk, our final segment. Fort Hays State on the road, back on the road again. Joplin, Missouri, Missouri Southern. Always a tough place to play. It's going to be a 1 o'clock kick, your first 1 o'clock kick this year. And against a much improved Southern team. They're 2-2. They got blown out at Central Missouri, but they turned it over 5 times. You can't do that against an offense like that and usually win. But the Lions look like they're much better. Atiba Bradley always has them playing tough. This will be another challenge on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it really is. Nothing like taking road trips to Pitt, and then the next one's right down to Joplin. So the 2 farthest ones, that we have so far. But no, Coach Bradley's done a tremendous job of making that team better each and every year. And his kids play hard. They play physical. They know what they're doing. They play a lot of house coverage in the back end, and they roll to some cover 3 as well with some man here and there. But offensively, playing a freshman quarterback who each week has tremendously improved each week. So tough running backs, offensive linemen are big, and they got some skilled wide receivers. So yeah, it's going to be a tough test for us. We got to prepare this week, and forget about next week. We're still in this. It's a 6-game playoff now to hopefully get into the playoffs and win the conference. So our backs are against the wall, and we got to keep moving forward.
All right. Well, got to win the next one, next game up, and try to find a way to get a victory on the road. Coach, as always, we appreciate the time. Have a great week of practice, and we'll see you in Joplin on Saturday.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Gerard.
There you go. Head coach Chris Brown, a big thank you to Josh Shaw, our player guest today as well. That's going to wrap it up for the program. We hope to have you join us again next Monday at 9 a.m. right here on the Tiger Sports Network and Tiger Radio Mix 103.3 for Tiger Talk. And, of course, Saturday afternoon, Fort Hays State football from Joplin, Fred G. Hughes Stadium. It's a 1 o'clock kick. We're on the air at noon with the Auto World pregame show. Till then, this is Gerard Walbrock. Have a great week, everyone.